Yes. Recording is in progress, and I'm going to hand this over to you, Jo, and then it's all yours.
Brilliant, thank you.
You have got the power.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. I'm Jo from ArtStar. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these little simple lotus flowers. And the really lovely thing about these is if you make loads of them, you can string them all together and make a garland, which you can make as big as you want. And then you can start hanging things off the bottom sections and it can just grow and grow. So what you're going to need is 2 of your sheets of paper from your hack pack.
What colour? What colour? Blue.
So to make one of these flowers, you only need 2 sheets. So from one pack, you can make 6 of these.
Wow. That's good value for money.
Thank you. And the first thing we need to do is we need to release the squares from the sheet. And so what you need to do is just slide your scissors into the gap and just follow that curve around the corner and release your squares of paper. And to make each flower, you only need the large and the medium size square from each piece. So if you just go ahead and cut those out, that's all we're going to need for this first flower. And please unmute yourselves and ask questions or chat or anything you like.
So we've got a big square.
Perfect.
And then we have that. We're done.
So you need to cut out the next size down as well.
Thank you.
Yep. So you'll end up with 2 large squares and 2 of the next size down.
Brill.
And that's all we will need for this flower. And you don't need to worry too much about being neat, because once it's all stuck together, you won't really notice.
But could I ask, just out of curiosity, excuse the messy hair, it's weekend.
You're excused.
How do you cut these? Because do you have like a pre-cutter or something? Because this is you know, like paper that you buy from the shop to do these. It just squares out there. So
yeah, so that's a very good question. Basically, I work with a really amazing printer down in southeast London, and these shapes are actually the same shapes that I use for my star kits.
Okay.
So when I was talking to my printer, he was telling me that he had a lot of leftover paper. So every time he does a printing job, he saves all the leftover paper instead of chucking it away or recycling it. And so I had this idea because I realized that there were so many other things you could make with the paper that I wanted to make something that was really affordable so people could just experiment. And so basically he took me into this room full of like 5 years worth of leftover paper and just let me go through all of it, these pallets full of paper, and just pick out everything that was the right kind of weight for this kind of craft. And then he just used the same die cutter as he'd been using for my stars. And that's how the hack packs were born. So he just basically used the same cutter. And like we'll be using these outer 2 sizes to make this flower, but then of course that leaves you with these centerpieces, and I'll just quickly show you at the end because there's loads of other things you can do with them as well. So yeah, basically the idea of the hack pack is for people to just learn some basic techniques and then just let their imaginations go wild and make whatever they want. So
brilliant. It's such a good idea. Well done.
Thank you so much. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the 2 smaller size squares and we're going to put some glue on and make them into a crescent shape. So what you're going to do is put glue on one corner, and then you're going to curve the corners together to make this kind of crescent shape. So you don't want to stick them together directly. You want to curve them around and overlap them to make a shape like that.
Can you show me what you did again so I can
Yeah, of course. So you're going to take the corners,
Yeah,
and you're going to curve them over to make a crescent shape.
right, okay.
So the best way to do it, just let me take the lid off my glue, is you just put a little dot of glue on top of one corner, and then curve those and overlap them.
Right. Okay.
And this is where the clothes peg is your secret weapon, because unless you have really good fast sticking glue, I can see Mary laughing because she knows how impatient I am.
I'm really sorry, but my glue's stuck together. Go and find some other glue. I've got tacky glue and it's so tacky. I've taken the lid off it.
It's too tacky.
And it's decided it's not working now.
Well, that's all right. We'll just carry on with our sticking.
I'm just going to run upstairs and get some Pritt stick.
Yep, no problem at all. So yeah, start with your two smaller squares because we're going to be doing another stage with them, so it just gives them a bit of chance to stick. But basically all 4 squares you're going to glue in the same way and make these crescent shapes.
So the bigger ones as well, yeah?
Yes, in exactly the same way.
Fabulous. Right.
I did a fantastic live this morning with Sally Owen from Little Betty Print.
Yeah, how did that go?
It was great. She's such a lovely person. And so I made some of her origami flowers, which was really fun. And she made one of these. But she was talking about how important it is not to rush when you're doing things like this, because it's all about just getting your head into the moment and enjoying the process. So yeah, we were definitely on the same wavelength, which was nice.
I shared it. I need to watch it, but I think it was at the same time I was talking to, was it Louise? Was I speaking to Louise?
You were talking to Louise because it was 11 o'clock.
Right, I have my 4 little things all ready to go. They're like little butterflies. Just
Have I've missed something, haven't I? Right.
Yeah, we finished.
It's all over. All we're doing is exactly the same thing to all 4 squares.
Okay.
So you want to stick that corner around, and you'll end up with 4 of those crescent shapes, 2 big and 2 small. So is everybody all right so far? Yeah.
I think it's looking good so far. We've made some glasses here, can we? All right, there we go.
That's absolutely brilliant. See, this is the whole idea. Use your imagination, make weird and wonderful things. I love it.
We can do that, can't we?
Okay. So is everybody okay and ready to do the next stage?
I'm nearly there.
Brilliant. Well, I'll show it several times. So
you can go. I'm done now. So
okay, brilliant. So what you want to do now is take your smaller crescent shapes, and I'll just show you before I do it. Whoops. What you're going to do is essentially pull together the tips to make a little raindrop shape. So I'll show you again. You're going to pinch these tips together and glue them to make a little raindrop shape. So you're only doing this to the 2 smaller crescents. So if you take your glue and just put some on that pointed,
which way are you going?
Surface. So you want to hold the crescent up like this, like a little boat, and then put some glue on that top facing point,
right,
and then just pull them up and together. and stick them so you
Right.
get this little raindrop shape.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
with the 2 smaller ones. This is like being back at school.
Hooray. Oh, that's perfect, Catherine and Mary. Yay. Kirsten, are you all right? Yay. And then who's off camera? Let's have a look. Oh, there's Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi,
How are you?
really good, thank you. This is Ruby.
Oh, hello. Gosh, look at your workshop. That looks amazing.
I try and keep them out of here as much as possible, but they don't listen, do they? It's over there, Rudy, the pink one.
Brilliant. So yes, both your smaller crescents, you're going to turn into these raindrop shapes.
Mine don't seem to be.
Oh, not the larger one.
No, just the smaller ones you're making into raindrops.
Should they?
Let's see yours, Michaela. Yeah, that's great.
You sure? Because that's mine's not curved, does it? Well, it doesn't look like yours.
Yeah.
It's sort of flat at the.
Mine's similar.
Is it? Oh, so it's not me then.
No, don't worry, Michaela. I'm the same. Mine does. It's kind of like it's a bit more abstract than Joe's.
It's like it doesn't look like it.
Maybe you've just gone a bit off piste, but it won't matter. It
Right,
definitely won't
okay.
matter. So what you should have now is you should have 2 of these big crescents.
Yeah.
And then 2 of these little raindrops in whatever form they've ended up in. Let's not get too hung up on that. And next you get to decide whether you want to, for example, put same colors together, or if you want to mix and match a bit, which I quite like to do. So the next stage is you're going to stick a little raindrop inside a big crescent. So the crescent sits upwards like a little boat, and you're going to put some glue in its center, and then you're just going to sit the raindrop on top. So it's going to end up like this. Hopefully. I think that's the joy of something like this. It just doesn't really matter. You'll end up with something fun and interesting, even if it's not exactly this. Oh, look at that. Perfect.
I've just put it in there, like I've just followed the instructions that Joe said.
Yeah,
All right, Owen, no need to show off.
I put that.
So hold your. Right, yeah.
That's perfect, Catherine. Oh, look, we've got a baby joining in. Kirsten, that's so sweet. Is that Neve? Oh, look. Hello. She'll probably be just as good as us.
She literally just put herself up to standing by herself for the first time. So craft workshops are obviously great for training.
Oh, that's amazing. She just wanted to join in.
Yeah. She also wants to rip these lotus flowers to shreds.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's not so good.
So much fun.
So you're going to end up with 2 of these shapes next. Oh, Kirsten, you're on it. Well done.
Go like that, aren't we? Oh, yes.
Owen is already predicting the next step very successfully.
This has given me an idea
I
because
think
I'm
so.
going to decorate next door's garden at the weekend, so I'm going to
Oh,
for a
yes.
party. So I should. Be
And also remind me to show you, Michaela, before we go. There's a version of these you can make that just has one extra step, where you basically add another large crescent but twist it 90 degrees, and I'll show you some. But
yes. Well,
they,
that's good.
I call them double lotuses, and they would be perfect for hanging in a garden for like a garden party. It would be really nice. Okay, so has everybody got 2 of these little objects?
Yeah.
We're just a little bit behind over here.
That's okay. We can. Oh, that's great, Lindsay.
Oh, just bear with me. Somebody's knocking at my door. Just a
Okay,
second.
yeah, no worries.
Somebody's ringing the bell.
Somebody knocked at Sally's door while we were doing the live, and she was a bit like, "Oh, not quite sure."
I'm in my
Yeah, what do we do? What do we do
I'm in
now?
my kitchen because it's the only place where the sun's not shining, so I can see the screen.
Oh, okay.
But it's also my front door.
Ah, I see. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be doing is sticking these 2 shapes together. So we're going to stick some glue on the flat base of one of them and then just join them together like that. So I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of here.
This is good, isn't it, Min?
And then pop that on there. And just hold that together.
All right, just put more glue on.
How are you getting on, Minnie?
The glue hasn't quite apart. It's fine. Know what we're doing.
Oh, they're looking fantastic, everyone. Hooray.
Need help?
I'm all fingers and thumbs. There we go.
Brilliant.
Looking good.
Oh, they look fantastic, everyone. So then what you can do once you've made several of these is you just stick those tips. You can kind of see they want to join together. So you just stick there and join them together. And if you just keep on joining them, you end up with a garland.
Very good.
Love it.
So yeah, you would just stick here and here.
So
and
I
join
could
them
basically
together.
cut these out on my machine, just a square, and contour the middle so that I could make these myself.
Absolutely. I always say to people, if you don't have a hack pack, like they don't even need to have curved corners. That's just an aesthetic choice for me. But yeah, you would just need to cut some 150 mil or 15 centimeter squares, then cut a 13 centimeter square from the middle of that, and then a 11 centimeter square. And yeah, that's all you would need to do. You could make.
I'll ask you for those dimensions again.
Yeah. Don't worry, just message me. So let me show you the double lotus, because that's a really nice extra thing that you can make. So this is exactly the same as what we've just made, except there's one extra large crescent, which when you get to that stage, before you put the raindrop inside the crescent, you just stick another crescent on.
Okay, yeah.
At 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And then you get this really 3-dimensional object, which is really lovely. These simple lotuses are great if you want to hang the garland on the wall or hang them in a window, because they're flat, and that's why I quite like making them. But these are beautiful from hanging like from the center of a lamp or off a shelf, or from a tree in the garden. And I just want to quickly show you as well some of the other things that you can make from all the other pieces. So if you cut out the very small square from the middle, you can curve them around and stick them together to make these little butterfly shapes. And then you can string them all up and make a beautiful garland, a really delicate garland out of them. You can also make these flower shapes.
Oh, wow. I love them.
And all you do to make them, I'll quickly show you actually, just bear with me 1 second. So when you have your square shape, and I'll just cut one of these out to show you. When you stick the corners together, instead of overlapping them like we just did, if you just stick them directly together, you get this kind of seagull shape.
Yeah.
And if you start layering them up next to each other, a big one, then a small one, and stick them together, you can make one of these flowers.
So when
And
you say
then-
layered, sorry, Joe, when you say layer them, do you mean in between the big one, you put a small one in the middle?
Exactly. So you
Yeah.
take one of these and then you just literally next to it, you put a smaller one and then another bigger one and
Right.
alternate them. And
Yeah.
you just glue them together here in the
Okay.
center and
Yeah.
just build up a flower. And there's tutorials for all of these on my website as well,
Oh,
video
cool.
tutorials. And then this is a little super squid, I call it. And again, it just uses that same crescent shape layered up on top. And then in this particular example, you put a raindrop on the bottom, and then you just cut some strips from some extra bits and stick them on. And
Oh.
again, you can hang that and make it into a garland. So yeah, literally the world is your oyster. And the more you play around, the more different things you realize you can make. But those two essential shapes, the seagull shape and the crescent shape, are your kind of building blocks for everything. And then the crescent shape, obviously you turn into the raindrop. The seagull shape, you can glue these edges together and make this kind of love heart shape. And that's actually really nice to make a simple garland to hang on the wall as well. So yeah,
Brilliant.
make loads of different things and send me photos, because I love seeing what people make, and people always think of stuff that I haven't thought of, which is always really exciting.
Got a new bedroom.
I will have fun decorating my office this afternoon. I should be working, but no, I think I'll do this instead.
It is work. It is work.
For next door.
It's a special fun kind of work, Catherine.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love doing bits of origami, so this is a new one and I love it. So yes, I will. I think I'll hang them there and I'll take a little picture for you.
Yes, please do. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Thanks,
Oh,
Joe.
thank you all so much for joining us. It's been really, really fun. And yeah, you did it.
Thank you.
Thank
Brilliant.
you so much,
And if you
Jo.
could
Thank
send
you.
me those dimensions, because I'm definitely going to cut some out for
Yeah,
weekend.
I'll drop you a DM on Instagram as soon as we
Okay.
finish.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much.
Oh,
I've
thanks for
enjoyed it.
joining, everyone.
Thank
That
you
was
very
really
much.
fun.
Thanks,
Bye.
Joe. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.